Welcome to the School Photo Podcast, the show where we dive into the world of school photography, innovation, and the future of capturing school memories. With me, your host, Lee Brooker, and guests, in each episode we'll explore the latest trends, challenges, and breakthroughs in the school photo industry. With funny stories from our schools to best business practices and some new innovation to help us all. Whether you're a large multinational company, a sole photographer, or you're just passionate about the evolution of school photos, this podcast is for you. Grab a cuppa, settle in, and let's get started. This is the School Photo Podcast. Happy days.
In this episode, my dad is talking to Marcelo all the way from Chile. That is miles away from our house. Marcelo is great fun and knows loads about the world of school photos. He even made his own conference to bring customers to Magic Photography. Genius or what? Enjoy this chat with Marcelo and my dad. Happy days.
Welcome back to another episode of the School Photo Podcast. Today, it's my absolute honour to be joined by Marcelo from Magic Photography Chile. Yes, Chile, the bit that's next to Argentina, all that way. Marcelo, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you for having me. It is a real pleasure to be here. And you know what? I really love being like on front of a camera. Some people don't like it. I just like it. I love it. And so, yeah, thank you for the invitation. I think it is great to have a little tool where people can learn from others. And why not just take it to their own businesses? I think it's good.
Yeah, that's exactly the idea. And this was inspired from the school photography conference that was in the UK a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, your video played and the room lit up with smiles. So we couldn't not bring a bit of that into the new podcast. So thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I said that little video they asked me for it, and I'm glad that you guys like it.
Where were you? You was on holiday, weren't you?
Yeah, I actually was in Brazil. I was in Brazil at the moment, and they say, "Hey, can you just record a video?" Like I was like, "Oh wow, yeah, good timing." So I just went out. It was really hot, and I just did it. It was fun.
I love it. Marcelo, take me back to the beginning. What's your journey? What's your story? Tell us all about it.
Well, my story, I feel that everybody has a story. I think everybody's story is different, but my story is quite funny actually, because usually the people that are involved in photography, they have like a background, like parents, someone actually invited
them into it.
Business. But it was kind of like my case, but I studied to be a computer engineer, and then one day in the middle of the career, I was like, you know what, I cannot do this anymore. And then, because I always thought about what's going to happen next. And there was me sitting behind a desk like I'm just now. And I was like, I don't want to be doing this. I just want to be I don't want to be the guy behind the desk. And so an opportunity presented to work on a cruise ship. So my problem back then, I didn't have an English. Well, as you know, like my English is not perfect like you guys, because it's not my mother language kind of.
My Argentinian and Chilean.
So then I started working on a cruise ship as a waiter, but that was not the end. I just didn't want to end up there. So I started like learning the language. I went to work on a cruise ship with no English whatsoever, like nothing, zero. So they sent me from Chile that speaks Spanish to Canada, and then my journey started there, and I didn't have English at all. And so I just saw someone with the sign of the ship on it, and I'm like, okay, here it is. And then somebody was just like driving me from one place to another, and I just didn't know what I was doing. On the ship, there was always someone that spoke Spanish, and so then every time somebody was giving instructions, somebody would translate after. So the thing that I wanted to do, and I was a very good employee. This is the funniest story, because like every time the boss would come to me, they would say, "All right, you need to clean the bathroom," and I was like, okay, with a big smile. And then somebody after that would come and say, "Dude, you need to clean the bathroom." I'm like, oh, so it was funny because everybody thought that I was the best employee, but I just didn't know what they were telling me. Anyhow, so after that, I went back to school. I started working like business administration kind of thing, a little bit of that. And then I was like, I just want to go back to the ships. But this time I went as an entertainer. So I studied like as a karaoke host, then a regular host, and then assistant cruise director, and then I went to the manager of entertainment, like the cruise director. If you ever taken a cruise, you know what I'm talking about. So in charge of all the entire entertainment department. By then the English improved a little bit. So I needed to be in front of thousands of people every night. And so it was a lot of fun. I loved it. I did it for 20 years. So that is my background. Like I like entertainment, having fun, you know, like people skills and all that stuff. And I loved it, you know, and then, but I missed out on a lot of things, like being on a ship. It is wonderful. You meet a lot of people, you travel the world, but you missed out on important things like family and events like Christmas and New Year's with mom and dad and the nephews and brothers and sisters and all that. And so at some point I was like, you know what, I don't know. I love it. If I had the same job at home, I probably would be doing that. But then my brother, like on a parallel line, he was in Australia. He also worked in cruise ships, and then he moved to Australia with his partner. And then she and him, they started this photography business. He was working on the cruise ship. One of the things he did was photography. And so he started with the pet photography. And then he needed to have two jobs because the events of pet photography were like not every weekend kind of thing, you know. So it was like every 2, 3, 6 months, I don't know. And so he needed to have two jobs. And every time I spoke to him, like my business mind, you know, combined with the craziness of entertainment. I was like, dude, you know, while you're in the wrong business, you need to take photos. If that's what you like, but just do it with kids. And so he always said, like, you know what, the business is like very competitive here in Australia. So no. And always was like that. And then one day after one of his pet shooting events, somebody came to him and said, hey, can you do like a little bit of photo for us in a like kid center? And he was like, yeah, sure. He did it. And then this person had more than one center. So he did a few centers, and he's like, oh, here is the money kind of thing. So he moved into that. And then after that, he started picking on me and saying, hey, you know what, maybe you should get into this business, you know? And I was like, but I'm happy with what I'm doing, you know, like I'm happy with this. And then, well, looking at mom and dad getting older, I was like, you know what, I need to be home kind of thing. And then my brother like presented like the business, how it is run in Australia. Okay. That was he presented to me. And then he said, you know what, I think you would kill it there. You need to try it. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. So I did it. I honestly didn't know anything about the business, like photography business. I have never taken a photo, like me, even with a cell phone. You know, I'm not a photographer. Yeah. And so I think that helped me with the business because I had a different mindset, and I think out of the box. Here on the business, I usually photography business, rather is I don't know, models or I don't know, sports or schools. I feel that everybody like feel comfortable with the business the way it is, and so they don't change anything, and so they keep just doing whatever they're doing like for decades. And then someone comes with a brilliant idea and it changes or just shakes a little bit the market. And then people start doing that. But nobody starts thinking out of the box. Like if we would have more people thinking out of the box, then we will have more like brilliant ideas, like
yeah, you're right.
Every time, you know, every year, and not just like once every decade kind of thing. Anyhow, so my brother presented this and I was like, sure, let's give it a shot. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have been honest with you, but I just want to say one thing that I've never said out loud. But we started the business without the business being ready.
So we all did. I think we all did.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, so we get in touch with NetLife. You guys are like very familiar with it, NetLife. And then NetLife, because they have this way of split the different roles into the business, it is the way it makes us win. So Rodrigo, my brother, said, hey, you know what? Well, this is my brother, Rodrigo and Kate. Like they have a brilliant business now running in Australia. And they both told me, like, you need to do it. You need to do it. So I said, you know what? We'll do it. And so when I spoke to Harry on NetLife, he's like, who are you? Like, really? Like, I remember me on the phone in the parking lot, like talking to Harry and said, Harry, you know what? This is what I say. This is what I feel. And he was like, very like, what? like why you speak English? Like that was his first question. Like why you speak English like an American kind of thing, The reason is because of my cruise ship background. And so I presented like I don't know, like a draft in my mind what I would be the business, but like I didn't know anything about it. Like I didn't know the software, I didn't know the market, didn't know anything. So I talked to Harry. Harry said like, okay, very interesting. I like your eager, like I like your
Energy.
personality, your mindset. Okay, let's start like looking out a way. So the thing that took me the longest was to just get, the payment option ready on the page. It took me like 3 months to get it done or more. I'm not sure. But on that process, I was already calling schools, and I already booked a couple of schools on that process without even having a payment option ready. And so, and Harry was like, dude, you're killing me. Like you are just like selling nothing because you got nothing, Yeah. And so it was fun. It was fun. I started the business in 2022. I would say my brother came from Australia to just help us with the training and all that. My entertainment, more than entertainment, by a cruise ship background, helped me to get like a very solid how do you go? My English sometimes goes away. Just
All right.
but it is like a service, like a client service kind of thing. So every time they call us, we are there for them, and we just try to offer what we promise and all that. In South America, it's not always like that, and so we actually got it from the best, And I work in different like cruise companies, and so they all have guest services. That's how was the word I was looking for.
Sound, yeah.
Yeah, and so we got that solid. We got the relationship with the schools like very solid as well. Whatever we promise, we deliver. All that, and then, but so 2022 was a big year because we started like, for instance, like calling schools on 2021, like November kind of thing, right? And that's when we started. And we got the payment option in April or something like that, 2026.
Right.
So we got a bunch of months with no payment option, but offering the service. Hey, we started with the first school, and my brother was like, hey, if you get one school, small 3 schools this year, just that's a win. It is not going to be easy. Well, on 2022, we got 15 schools, did 15,000 kids. That was 2022. And then 2023 did 20,000 kids. So on 2022, we tried to try different schools, like different, like the rich people, like rich people, like we tried different levels. And then we had to lose a couple of schools. And so, but then we didn't went down on the amount of kids we photographed on 2023. We actually went up from 15 to 20,000. And then 2024, last year, we did 30,000. We photographed as well the military academy, the National Military Academy, and that are like big wins because like we got the most important schools in the country working with us. And the other thing, what we did, and then Harry always said, like, dude, wow, like, where those ideas come from? Like, it's like, yeah, well, my mind is always like there, working on something new and something different. What else to do? All these numbers, like for some people might think, well, no, they're big numbers. For me, it is not enough. Like, it's never enough, And so last year, when we were at the beginning of the year, March, we started it with, we had scheduled to photograph about 20,000 kids. And then I was like, we need to do something different. Like 20,000 is not enough. And so I went out and I said, Harry, do you have any more ideas? Like, you have been in this business forever. He said, I'm talking about Harry Netlife. Like, I'm sorry. If you're watching or listening to this.
No, he was on. Anyone can go back and listen to Harry.
If you know who Harry is, then, well, Harry actually had an episode of the podcast like a couple of weeks ago. Well, so he said, you need to or try to get the conference of the principals of the school. They always have a principals conference, and all the principals of all the schools, they go there and just try to get a stand there and just offer what you do. And I was like, okay. So that was the start. And I started like looking around and talking to all the people I knew. And they're like, nope, no, that there's nothing like that. And it doesn't exist, and here in Chile, it doesn't exist, like those conferences for schools. So I'm like, what do I do, So, and here's when the idea came out. Like, I was with a friend, one of the photographers. Like, I have very good relationship with my photographers. And so we were doing an event, and we went to the event, and during the event, he's like, we should put like, okay, I just got to backtrack. So, sorry. So when I started it, just remember 2022, this was end of the pandemic, right?
Okay. Yep.
So the pandemic for us, well, for me, it didn't affect me as it affected everybody else because I wasn't in the business yet, but this was the end of the pandemic. So we were calling the schools to the secretaries, and we were like trying to explain. By the way, we were trying to explain something that we didn't know what it was. Like we were just trying to offer right, a product that we never saw before. Like we never had the chance to be on a shooting studio. So we were offering something that it was in our minds, and then they would ask us questions, and then we were like calling my brother in Australia, say, dude, like, can we do this? And then we were like, I don't know, maybe, yes, kind of thing. So it was funny. Now it's funny. But anyway, so by then we tried calling the secretaries at the schools because we didn't know who to talk to. They would never give us the opportunity to talk to the principal of the school. Like, those guys are really busy. They're not going to take the phone call to talk to a photographer. And that's exactly what they thought we were. Just another photographer that goes there, take the photos, and then sell them on the street, right? Because that was the way of selling photos here in Chile at that time.
Okay.
So when we call, the secretary would say, hey, another photographer call. And they were like, no, we have a photographer, so forget about it. And that was the end of it. So we created a flyer and we were like, okay, we're just going to go and hand them out at the different schools, door by door. We went there, and it was the end of the pandemic, so they wouldn't let us in. We were not able to go in. So the doorkeeper, they would say, okay, just leave us the flyer, and we will pass it along, and probably end up
in a bit.
Whoever. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. So it was really hard. And so then I just remember my time in the school when I was going to school, that we were the one in charge of sending the information to the parents. Like the teacher will come around and say, all right, we got a communication, and we'll take the book. And then we start like writing out like ourselves, the whole communication to send it to the parents. But now, and that was my surprise. That was the first surprise. They have on the schools, departments in charge of communication, and they are in charge of sending like inside communication to all the staff, and also outside communication to all the parents, using this like fancy platforms, and the grades are all online. And I remember the book that we had for the grades when I was a kid, that they would put like a little photo of us like next to the grades and all that stuff, and everything was in this book. The book was lost, and the entire year was. And so now everything is aligned. And so that was my first like shocking moment when I realized that everything is digital. And I was like, of course it's digital. It gotta be.
Yeah.
So then we realized that in the communication department, there is someone that is in charge, that has a lower position than the principal. So I was like, we need to talk to these people. They are the one who are actually going to benefit from our service more than the principal. Yeah, the principal is going to take credit of it, but he doesn't have to do anything with it. Somebody else has to do it. Somebody else has to take the photos for the yearbook. Somebody else has to, I don't know, update the photos on the administration system that they use. All that, somebody else had to do it. So we need to find out who actually going to be is going to be the beneficiary of the service.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
And so we started talking to these people that now they usually are journalists that they finish their career and they didn't find a newspaper to work for, and then they start working with these guys. And so they create communications, they do the yearbooks and all like social media, all that stuff. They do everything, So talking to them, sorry if I'm going too long.
No,
sorry.
Carry on. It's brilliant. Carry on.
So talking to them, they are like, yeah, it takes us a lot of time to take all the yearbook photos. And so, well, we can do it in a day or two. And they're like, oh, brilliant. We need your service here. So they were the ones interested on the service. They will open the door for us. So
how big are the schools typically? How big are the schools that you've got over there?
right. Well, the schools go from, like we say, little schools, but like little schools, 150 to 2,200 kids. They're
And
huge.
do they
They're
go all through the age, or do you have it? Is it small primary schools and high schools?
No. They are like a school with the entire process. They could be 150 or they could be 2,200.
Wow,
Or
okay.
3,000. Like we actually photographed one time a school that 3,000 kids. So obviously at 3,000 kids, you're not gonna take 2 days, but you're gonna take a week or a week and a half. I don't know. To get it done right. Anyhow, so we started talking to these people in charge of the communication, and they started getting like interested on it. Like most of them, and our biggest competitors are those photographers that have been there in the school for years, like 10 years, 20 years. The father started the photography business, and then the kid, it is doing it. And so it is more like a sentimental relationship kind of thing. And so although our service is better and our photos are better, they still feel that they own them something. And so they're not going to let them go kind of thing, like easily. But slowly we started, like some of the schools started trusting us, and they started like integrating Magic Photography into their photo, like what they need. And then, so we got to the number like 20,000 kids last year. And then I was like, it's not enough. I spoke to Harry. Harry said this, and I'm like, okay, so we just need to create a conference. I didn't say that to Harry, but
Okay.
I thought about it. On the card, said like, hey, you know what? We should get all these journalists one day in a bar and just give them booze, and then we just get them to be friends with us, and then boom. And I was like, okay, that is an idea. I just gonna do it the right way. I'm just not gonna, get them all drunk. You're right. So I rented a place in a hotel, and then I called a couple of experts in communication. And I invited like all the communication people from the area on the schools, for free. I said, you know what, we're going to do it for free. And this year, we're going to do it for free. We're going to invite this couple of people. They're going to call, they're going to talk about strategic communication. And they were all on fire, like we created a monster right there and then. And so they're like, oh yeah, we want to go. And then all these people started inviting all the people, and all the people, and all these people, like all these journalists from schools came along. So our idea was to get like 30, 40 people. The idea was also to invite the people that actually work for us or with us on the schools, like that we're partnered with. And so we said 40 people top, and we get like 8. We got like 80. Among them, they were like the people from the National Military Academy. So we sent one of the guys, the speakers. It was success. And then in the middle, I was like, hey, hi, I'm Magic Photography kind of thing. This is what we do.
You can't go home yet. Finished.
Yeah, and like, yeah, I think we kind of thing. King now. Well, anyhow, that was that. And then we sent another speaker, and then we did like a space for them to do like the conversation place,
Networking.
that kind of stuff. And so they have a little beverage and some good like food and all that stuff, and off they go. They were happy. And then at that moment, they created a WhatsApp group. And then they have about 100 people from different schools, and they help each other. So that helps that too. They start like talking to each other, and then once in a while, one person said, "We had our shooting with Magic Photography," and everybody started like, "Oh yeah, Magic Photography." I have like a couple of spies there that help me out sometimes. I'm not part of the group. That's funny. Like I'm not part of the group. I created the entire thing. I'm not part of the group, but I always have like my little fly in the wall that is looking after me.
Yeah, it's the way to do it. It's absolutely the way to do it.
When I presented this to Harry, and I say, Harry, you know what? I'm going to do a conference. I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to do this. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I say something completely different. I say, look for a conference that is already done. Why are you doing that? Like this has never been done before in the business. I'm like, well, I will be the first one then. And it was a success. Last year, we ended up photographing 30,000 kids. This year, we haven't started yet, but we already have scheduled 500 kids, 2,500 kids already for this year. So we think we're gonna get to the 40K this year.
Amazing.
Yeah, and yeah, sky's the limit, man. Like I always
It really
say,
is.
yeah, think out of the box, do whatever you
And
gotta do.
what was your big pull to try and get these staff, the school staff, to come to the show? Was it, do you had speakers that were specialists in communication? Was that
Right,
the big headline?
right.
That you were going to help them, you were going to give them value, that they would learn the best ways to communicate with parents and staff, listen to our experts,
Well,
and Marcelo Bob's up in the middle.
that was the hook, right? It was
Yeah,
free. They will drink
genius.
free, they will eat free, and they will get like knowledge. And so that was the reason why it was a success. So actually, it was a lot of people that actually wanted to go, and we had to tell them no, because like we didn't have any space. So we actually let the people that we were interested on to come along. Now this year, I'm not gonna back up. I'm probably gonna do something even bigger. You know, I'm gonna do a conference, always sponsored by Magic Photography. Maybe get another sponsor like Canon or anyone that actually want to go there. And then HP, maybe, you know, computers, HP.
Yeah, anyone that supplies schools, any
Right.
school suppliers. Yeah,
Right. And so, but this year we want to do like a full day kind of thing. Like that time was like 2 hours, 3 hours. But this year I would like to do like a 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. with lunch included, but they have to pay a fee to get it. And then this time it will be like different stuff like AI, how to use AI, communication strategy, how to speak in front of the media, you know, when like what, you know, when something like really bad happened in the school, you need to be like prepared to talk to the media. You need to be the person, you know, like somebody
yeah,
needs to be in charge of talking to the media. And if nobody knows how to talk to the media, then you have a problem and you have an extra problem. And so,
yeah.
we're going to get an expert to talk, like to teach them how to do that. And we're going to have, I don't know, 4 or 5 different topics, and then lunch included, and a lot of networking time as well. So yeah, it's going to be a little bigger this year.
Oh, what a genius idea! That's a brilliant idea. If he's not there, build it.
So yeah, if you like I'm talking to you and I'm talking to everybody else, you know, like if you have never like thought about it, it is a great. You just need to look like who is that person that is going to open the door for you on the school. And so then for us was journalists working on the school, so that's why we did it that way. But maybe whoever is going to open the door for you, it is going to be someone completely different that has nothing to do with communication. And then you need to prepare. If you want to prepare a conference, it needs to be like tailored to that type of people.
What they need to learn.
Yeah, for sure. And they just like cook them up with something cool, and then they will come to you. Like I have tried like many different things, and some of them work, some of them don't. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I have failed on a few.
No,
But I never stop. Like the idea is like you try it a couple of times, didn't work, move on. If it works,
try another one.
keep on it. You know, keep doing it. And the other, my other big, I would say more than a recommendation, but advice is just like take care of your people, you know, like the people that work with you. More than treat them well, it is just like create a good relationship with them, because sometimes they're not really into to put, you know, the share of the company. But if you are running the company, and if you are like if they have a bonding with you, then they will stay with you and they will do anything for you. So
And having great people is what really makes your brand stand out and be amazing, because you can go in with all the energy in the world. If you put photographers in that aren't on a par, that don't deliver that level of service, I think all of these podcasts we've spoke about, the same thing keeps coming up, that the people that you're putting in the school are so important.
oh yeah, for sure. And then the other thing is, we're talking to my brother, and this is taking me back. I was like, hey, how's it going? When you awake so early? Because like our time is like the other way around. Like in Chile, we got, I don't know, like 14 hours different with my brother. So when he's on day, I'm night right now, he's sleeping. But then sometimes he will be awake at 3 o'clock in the morning, his time. And I was awake, obviously, because it was my daytime. And I was like, what are you doing awake so early? And he's like, no, I haven't gone to bed yet. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, well, I'm still like checking photo by photo, so the service and the quality and all, everything is great.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, come on now. Like, I know we got two different backgrounds, and I had a little bit of study of like administration in the companies and all that. And I'm like, do you think like the owner of Apple, it is checking the phones one by one? No, of course not. I'm not saying that you just need to let the quality go. I'm just saying that you need to have a good customer service.
Yeah.
And that's what Apple had, or Samsung, And what they have is like the fact that you buy a phone, you get home, and if the phone doesn't work, you go back and they will exchange it for you immediately. They wouldn't even ask you anything. So somebody would think, yeah, but the discomfort of, having to go back to the store and all that stuff, you're so excited when you get your product that it doesn't bother, The important part is that they replace it right away, and they don't say, but, like they just do it, If you have to go there and say, all right, we will send it, and then you have to wait 3 days and that, they lose you as a customer. You just need to have an answer. And so it's the same thing with photography or with anything. If you take a photo and the photo has a problem and then they send you an email, they call you, you need to fix it right away. If you are able to fix it right away, then the customer is going to be happy. And then they're not going to have that problem of, oh, these guys are crap or anything like that. If you are able to deliver a solution right there and then, and they don't have to ask you again for it, then you're good. You're fine. Good to go. So that's what I'm saying to my brothers. Like, you're wasting time. Just go there, go to bed, sleep, and then tomorrow you have a shooting. Just go take photos or whatever. And then if somebody asks you for a problem in the photo, like a retouch or anything like that, fix it right there and then. Do it fast. Everybody's gonna be happy.
And actually, that sometimes does better than not having a problem in the first place. Right. It makes you human. It makes people understand that you can make mistakes, but you can solve the problem. And actually.
Yeah, when they recommend someone, usually what you see in the comments are like, hey, one day we had a problem, but they fixed it right away. They're great. That's the comment. It is not that, hey, we receive our spotless photos and we never had a problem. That usually are not that kind of message.
No, it's all.
So yeah, that's what we do. Magic Photography, it is growing. It is great in Australia with my brother and Kate, and then with me here.
So in Chile, you were saying before we started about the terms of the school are different to what they are over here, aren't they, in the UK and the USA? Are you about to get busy now in February?
Right. So right now we are we had already training for photographers, and then we do training and retraining. So we just bring everybody, new people and old people, and we retrain them, and so make sure they're fresh to start. And so we did training this week. And then next week, we're going to do the second part of it. One of them, it is more like kind of like a PowerPoint presentation kind of thing. And the other one is like literally with equipment. And so that's what next week. And then immediately after, we start with shooting, rather it is staff. Some of the school, they want us to shoot the staff first because they use it for credentials and for passes and stuff like that. So they ask us to do it before the school start, but we start like the first week of March. That's when we start. And then we end on the second week of December.
What does your day look like on a shoot day in March? What does a typical day look like? You've got how many photographers at school? And...
My day, Marcelo's day?
The photographer's day, or Marcelo.
Okay. So Marcelo's day started quite early, like because before it was like the first year was kind of like one man band kind of thing. I was never taking the photos though. I have the people, but we got like a store where we just pick up all the equipment. So I needed to be the one loading all the equipment kind of thing, and then going to the schools and being there, supervising all that stuff. And I'm letting that stuff go. I like going. I love going to the schools. Some people might say, "Oh no, kids, screams and all that stuff."
Nah, they're brilliant.
It's really refreshing. I love being around kids. I love kids. I used to go to school with them. So that's a joke that I have for you. So no, I really like the energy of the kids and the fact that I don't have kids on my own, and then when there is a problem with the kid, I'm not saying that the kid's a problem, but when there is a problem where the kid it is shy and is crying, I don't know how, but I always have the way of turning that around. I love that. I just love the challenge.
Love it.
So yeah, I take the kid in the side and start talking and stories and all that stuff, like about anything. We talk about anything. And then I show them the camera, and they can shoot their friends, and they can see the friends. the screen, all that stuff. So we always turn around, and that I like that. I think it's very refreshing. But on the other side of the business, while you are there, the business doesn't grow. And so I'm just letting that go, and I'm going still to the school once, twice a week, and then, but I'm just using my time to grow the business. The turnaround of photographers and the people that work with you, it is like it's crazy, because you cannot secure them a job because they're freelance photographers. So my goal, it is to have a whole year scheduled full of schools, not only because of the business, like my business, but also because of them, like to have them busy. Sometimes, and I'm going to be 100% honest, sometimes I go to school and I don't make a penny out of it. But as long as you have them busy, they will be with you. And then we're going back to the same.
Because they're getting paid, they're getting a salary, they're paying the bills.
So, hey.
Do you go to schools 1 or 2 times a year? How often do you go into schools?
To the schools, I would say 98%, it is once a year.
Wow, okay.
They want to take photos, like the individual photos one time, and then the group photos in a different time, and then I will go twice a year. But usually it's just one time a year. And before, when we used to do like 1 or 2 schools a month, and then we start doing, last year we did like 1 school every week almost. It was for the first semester, and then the second semester was a little bit lighter. First semester, everybody wants pictures now, and then the second semester is a little lighter. I would get the schools here and there. But then this year, we got so many schools that won like first half of the year that then we got like for sure 2 schools a week. We got 2 schools a week. And then we are preparing to have like 3 schools a week for the next year for sure. So going back to your question, what do I do? Well, sometimes I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and then we just load the truck, and then we go to the schools at the first day of the schools usually, because when we go more than one day, always they wake up early. It's not that early. It's not 5 o'clock in the morning, but it's around 6:30 kind of thing. So very early in the morning, we go to school, we unpack it, we upload, and unload.
Set up the equipment.
Yeah, we set up the equipment, all that. We start at 8:15, the shooting. And then we go from there, shooting until lunchtime, 12:30, 1 o'clock. We have lunch, and then sometime we got a second session during the afternoon. 4 o'clock, we're done. Then we send everybody home. If it is just 1 day school, then we need to pack everything up, load it to the truck, back to the office, unload everything. It's just kind of crazy.
Right. Wow.
Then we need to go to the office, and we need to upload all the photos to the cloud. And then we start like answering emails, calling up the schools, that kind of stuff. It's just crazy. It is a crazy day. Like my days sometimes don't end, and we just like have 2 days merged together kind of thing.
Blends in. Yeah.
Yeah. It is crazy.
Phone your brother, see what he's doing for lunch.
Yeah, for sure. I like it though. It is kind of like what I used to do on the cruise ship, like where like you go, and your days go.
Yeah, there's no rest on the cruise ships, is there? That is
no, it's not.
Gone.
Yeah, and then you do like 6 months like straight at sea, and you work every day, no days off, no weekends, no nothing, and so you just will go. So it's kind of like the same. I like it though. You get like you don't meet people from all over the world, but you meet people from all over the city. Like I got good contacts like all over, like all these journalists, people that you deal with, and all the principals that you get to hang out with after. It is like really refreshing, like the way that we just meet a lot of people. And then now when you go to the school, and then this little kid is like, hey, and just hug you because they know you from the session the year before. That is pretty cool too.
Great. Yeah. It's great fun.
Yeah, it is.
So what's your, obviously in spending time with the kids, enjoying the fun, enjoying that side of it. What do you see coming in the industry? What do you think the industry could do with that's going to benefit it? Obviously coming up with lots of big ideas. Coming up with your own conference is outstanding, but what do you think that we could bring into school photography to make it a bit more interesting, a bit more fun?
I think I saw interaction. I think everything goes now to well, obviously digital. It is the way of doing things now. But then we go back to this little frames that like they used to sell, where they like. Picture will come around in your house, and then I feel like those kind of things, they sound cheesy, but we should we should try to get more memories home. Most of the parents, they say to us, like, yeah, well, we take a photo, we print it, and then we just put it in an album and we just store it somewhere like where nobody's going to see them.
Okay.
You know, the idea for me, it would be like, you remember the movies back in the time when they were talking about technology and all this, you know, frames and things will be alive in the house. But that's what we're missing, you know, like we got the technology already and we don't do it, you know, like we just bring back the memories home. And I think that I mean, for me, that is where we're going to go. Like you obviously asked me like on the spot. I didn't have this answer prepared or anything. And so I feel like that could be it. We are too busy with our cell phones and our computers, and we're just like, let our memories go away. Yeah. And I feel like the things that we look back now, like when you have the experience and when I went with my sister and all that, and then we start looking at photos that are from, I don't know, 20
It's when they're in your hand, isn't it? It's when they're in your hand that they matter.
Yeah. So most of the people is like posting stuff online. But just remember what, you know, Google Photo is doing, you know, what all the companies are doing. They show you memories. That's what they do, you know?
Yeah. They package it together, don't they?
Right. Right. And it's, oh, what were you doing last year or 5 years ago or 6 years ago kind of thing. So if we're in a business, I would say stuff like that, I think would be like, because at the end, like the parents for us on a school photography business, the parents who are your actual clients, you know, they will, that what they're looking for is memories to keep for.
Yeah. That's a great shout actually, because thinking about it, so in the UK, then we've got what we call primary schools where they go up to 10 years old and then they go to what's the high schools. So that'll be from 11 till 16 or 18. But when they left primary school, if we were to send them a memory from when they were in reception, the very first 4-year-old, imagine if you were to send them a digital version of that, of say, look back 5 years.
Right.
They'd love it, wouldn't they? It'd be amazing.
Yeah. So you could do it over a frame, you know, that actually move the photos and it goes like from the first grade and then go on up.
Yeah.
Or just print them in a frame
on a nice
frame with all the years, you know, kind of thing. I think that would be, even if they have those photos, you know, they might actually
together is lovely, isn't it?
Right. And so I feel like personally, I feel like memories is what we take from here. You're not gonna take when you know, go to the next life, you know, you're not gonna take money, you're not gonna take nothing with you, you know.
No, yeah, you're right.
Like how you did it. And the problem is like we got so many diseases after when you get older that you don't even remember. You don't even remember what happened. So the idea is to try to remember, just keep the memories live as long as you can.
Yeah, a system that could do that would be brilliant to be able to do that. Actually, we sometimes do yearbooks for year sixes when they leave, but it's only of that year. It's of their leavers year. So they'll get an individual now, and when they look back on it in years to come, they see their friend. But we've never done. We don't, and I don't know anyone that is doing stuff that is specifically around that child and their journey.
Right. And the other thing is like you get a yearbook, but a yearbook is a book and you need to have it somewhere, you know, and probably it's going to be like getting dust somewhere in the basement.
Yeah.
You need something that is like there, you know. I just know parents say like, oh yeah, we buy your photo, and then we just put it on the living room. And then the next year we change the photos. We just put the next one, you know, and so on and so on. Like, why you don't have like a digital frame that can show you all, you know?
Wake up.
Right? Yeah. Why not? So
no, that's a really good shout. That
at the end of the day, we are capturing memories. Whether you want to admit it or not, but we are capturing memories for someone.
Exactly what we're doing.
Our memory is really important, you know? And so I feel that the school photography, we are doing things the way we have been doing for a long time. We digitalize the business and it's working fine. But at the end of the day, the parents, what they want is memories. They don't care about the technology. They don't care about anything. Some parents, and everything is related to, you know, the feelings. So I know in some countries, usually probably your country, they are, you can play along, like the business, you can sell photos and all that stuff, but you cannot play the feelings on the business, you know?
100.
right? And so in Brazil, it's just crazy. They just send you all the photos home. They send you the entire package, all the photos home. And then the parent, they see them, and then they decide if they send them back or they send you the money, you know?
Yeah.
And you as a parent, like will think like, how am I going to send my kid back, you know?
Yeah.
And so
that's how it was always done back in the day, years and years ago, before it all went to digital. When Harry turned up, it was always done as a pack goes home. And I mean, when you see how they do it over in Sweden and in Norway, it's unreal. They send a pack of photographs with no mounts. They send an invoice, and you either send it back or you pay the money. And like you say, how many people send it back and go?
So then you realize that, like, when you talk about feelings and when you talk about memories, that's what it is. Like, the parents are not going to let their kids go. They want their photos. You know, my cousin said, hey, you need to come and work with the school of my daughter, because the photos are so bad, but I still buy them.
Yeah, I'll buy them because I should. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're really bad. So, like, but I'm not going to let my daughter, you know, hang out with a guy that I don't know, like, who is going to, you know, stay with the photos. So at the end of the day, even if you sell it like on the street or anywhere else, even the photos are good or not, they're going to buy them because it is their kid.
Feel obliged.
It's
they feel they should.
kind of thing that is, you know, somewhere, and they're not going to have it. So yeah. And then in Brazil, I think the rate of purchases, it is like 99%. Like, everybody buys that, you know.
Wow.
It's a sweet business.
So in Chile, do their children wear school uniform?
Yeah.
Do they?
Most of them, like 99% of the schools, they do it. Like, most of the schools that are related with US or British schools, they do not have, they don't have it. But most of the schools, they do. And it's cute to see them all together with the uniform and all that. It's when we take the photo, the group photo, it is pretty cute. It is pretty cute.
And do you do them as your group photographs? You do them as a traditional group, so they're all in one picture together, and you get their picture together, or do you do them as small bits and stitch them?
We do both.
Okay.
So we do, when we go to the school, we take the photos, and usually, so this kind of stuff that started happening naturally. Go Monday to Thursday, we go to schools, and then on Fridays we do no show kids, you know, so from the week before, you know, so
right.
So if I take the photos on the school today, Monday to Thursday this week, next week on Friday, we'll go to take the missing kids.
The same school.
So we do like two kind of visits. So we do the visits this week, and then we do another visit the following week on Friday to just take the missing kids, the sick kids.
Okay. And how far do you travel?
Not too far, to be honest. Like, everything is within 45 minutes drive.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, but then on this week, we send a troop of 5-6 photographers. On the missing day, it is just one photographer that it goes there, you know, take the photos of the missing kids. And so back to your question. So on the week, we take photos of the individual photos and the group photos, all the kids together, the entire group together. And then the missing kids, we take the photos, only the individual photos of the missing kids. And then for them, we do a collage photo as well, because they're not going to be in the group photo, you know, and so in the collage photo. So the parents, when we offer them the photos, they also have the chance to buy a group photo where the kids is, you know, so they're belonging to the.
And is that collage just the head and shoulders individual, or is that, do you do a full body?
It's a headshot. Yeah, it's only headshot.
So just lots
collage.
of.
Yeah, it's kind of like collage. Yeah, it is cool. And then in those photos that it doesn't take anything, like with NetLife, you do it like this. They have templates and everything. You just put two bottom, boom, and then the photo is down. You don't even have to spend time with it. So yeah, it's cool.
Fantastic. That's a good. Again, there's all these things that other companies in other countries do that I think in this country, the thought of going back to do catch-ups every week, most people are going to go, oh goodness, I do not want to get involved with that, because you'll get parents coming in and all the problems will be put up. But it's clearly working for you guys out there, isn't it?
It is working really smooth. Like, it is really, really smooth, because our business, it is mobile studios. You know? We don't have a store. You know? We do have only the studios that go from school to school. And sometimes our parents that are traveling, and then those 7 days from this week to the next week, the kids are not back yet. So they're still going to miss And so sometimes they call and say, hey, what can we do to take the photo? And I'm like, we don't have a store. We don't have a place to just take a photo. Rather you pay for a photographer, it's going to cost you a fortune to go to a home. Or just tell us which one of these schools are close to your place, and you can take it to the school that we want to be on. And because we have such a good relationship with the people on the schools, is that they allowed us to bring kids from other schools just to take the photo. And so it is another opportunity to do it. But it's really smooth, to be honest. Like the missing day shooting, it doesn't last more than 4 hours. So our photographers freelance, we offer them a minimum of 4 hours a day. When they go to work, they go to minimum. So if they have to work 2 hours, they still get paid for 4, kind of thing. And so, yeah, they go there, boom, 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 take the photos right away, 2 hours, boom, and they get 4 hours pay. And it's very smooth. As I said, you talk to the people in the school and they will bring you the, missing kids and all that. And you do it in a minute and done.
Do you give them a list of the missing kids, or do they give you the list? You give them?
No, we give,
system.
Yeah, from the system, we downloaded the list, we give it to them, we send it to the school and like a couple of days before, so they have the kids, or if they can advise
bring them to assist
families as well. 20, 30 kids, 50 kids, I don't know. You can do it in a little bit. Yeah.
But that makes all the difference, though, because that, when you add them sales up for the ones that you redo, actually that's as good as doing another school, isn't it?
It is part of the service, like when people, when you have a rate on 98% of kids photographs every day, and you have only a 2% missing. It is.
How many, what's the typical schools, like what's the take up and what percentage of people order photos from over in Chile?
So out of the 100% of the kids that take the photos, 80% of the parents sees the photos. Oh, you got about 20%, we'll say 17% of the parents don't see the photos of their kids. But then you have, out of this 100%, I would say 40, 50% people buy.
Yeah, very similar to over here. I mean, a good school might do 55%, but one of the bad ones might do 40, 45. Yeah, you probably on individuals. We generally don't do groups and individuals on the same visit. So we split them into different times of the year so that it balances the money out across the course of the year.
Right. Well, we started the business this way. So we would just visit one time, but then one school asked us to do it in separate times. And then we realized that we sell more on that school, we sell more because you got 2 chances to sell, two sets of communications to just give them more information. They see everybody's buying the photos and all that stuff. And so, and also they buy more, they
got on the money they've spent last term.
Right.
Semester.
So you sell them a package of, individual photos and a group photo, a collage photo. And then at the end of the year, you sell them the photo where they're all together. And there is a little bit more money as well. So, and more people get to see the photos, and it is better.
And also with staffing wise, with your team, it gives them another day's money further on in the year. So it helps build that loyalty, doesn't it?
Right. Well, we got a group photographer, and so this person will go with us, rather it is individuals, if it is the whole thing together, or it's only group photos. So it doesn't change much. It's just the fact that if you get to the point where you need to go like a group photos only photographer, and we got a group station, and so if we need to send that group station to that school, then we cannot have another school competing on the same day, kind of thing.
Yeah, I get it.
But again, it's part of the game, you do it the way you think is best. For me, it works perfectly when you have group photos and individual photos, because you forget about the school right there and then just move to the next one. Then there is other things to consider when you have to do it in 2 different times.
Yeah, there's a lot of other considerations involved. I think in the UK, we're partly because of our weather, is that winters are typically really cold and the summers are not too terrible. So we can get outside and do classes in the summer, but we couldn't do that in September, October, because the weather wouldn't allow it.
Right.
We try, when we do our classes in the summer, we try and do individuals outside as well. So we try and do pictures of them up against a tree, or leaning on one of the boards or walls, or wherever we can get some nice greenery. But what that allows us to do is then sell extras because it gives the parent the opportunity to spend more money.
Right. Well, we do a background that actually has a tree and everything else, like in the back. It is kind of like blurry kind of thing. So it gives you the feeling that the person is in the garden kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah, we do all our photos, individual photos are inside photos, like studios, but like mobile studios, but they're inside. Like rather it's a classroom or the gymnasium or whatever. Okay. But it's inside because of, the umbrellas and the wind and all that stuff.
Yeah. You've got more control, haven't you?
Yeah.
Lots more control over it.
So,
and do you allow parents to choose their own background, or do you choose it for them?
No, I choose them for them. We change it every year, but we choose them. We choose them. We let the entire school be the same.
Makes sense.
So we don't.
And you do multiple poses. Do you do lots of different?
We do four posts per kid, so the parents get to see those 4, and then also the 2 group photos that I was talking to you about. So they have more options. That's different that the photographer before, they take just one headshot and the group photo. And if you are with your eyes closed, you're screwed. Or if you are looking somewhere else, you're screwed. Like the kid went that way. We do a lot of retouching. We got an entire team that actually retouch all the photos. So making sure the people in the group, they're all looking at the camera. So we do, 10 photos. We take 10 photos, and the photographer is making
all
sure
the best
that, at least in one of the photos, the kids are looking at the photographer.
Yeah, makes sense. And do you do fun poses as well for the group one?
We haven't.
Just do one-on-one.
But I think we will try it. I do
it for all of us. All of our schools, we do a proper class group where they're all standing, hands behind their backs, and they're all smiling. And then we'll do a funny pose one where they can do their arms folded or lean on their friends, and they love it. The kids absolutely love it.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand. I understand, but like, how many of the parents buy it?
So if we've got, our classes are about 30 typically. So if we've got a class of 30, we'll normally sell 12 or 13 of the proper one and between 7 and 9 of the fun one.
Yeah, not bad.
Some of them, well, most of those 7 or 9 are to a parent that's already brought. They'll buy 2, one of each.
Right. All right.
So, but what we do find though is that the proper one is nicer because we explain to the children, look, you can do a fun one. We've got to get a great one first. Well, let's work together. Let's all work together. We need to get a really lovely one of all of you looking and smiling, looking super cool, super smart. And if we get a really great one, we'll do a funny pose one. How's that sound? And they all go, yeah, we'd love to. So that just stops anyone trying to play the game and mess around on the first one because they know they're going to get their fun one. Even if we don't sell it, it makes the proper one almost every time nicer.
On the individual photos, we get a lot of kids like posing like, and then you're like, okay, stay straight in front of the camera, looking at the camera, 1, 2, and like you try 1, 2, 3 times, and every time, okay, good, to stop doing that. Okay, we're gonna do it like right this time. Yeah. Okay, 1, 2, and so it is funny. Oh, sorry, I know this means something different there.
Not any problem.
Just remember, oh man. But anyways, whatever pose it, or though if you like soccer, the Mbappe with
the thumbs,
that. And so you tell them, and then they still do it, or the girls when you are like they take a photo, 1, 2, and then they just like tilt the head, it is funny, and so you tell them, and every time they agree with you, you say 1, 2, 3, and so then you use that psychology. You say, okay, we're going to take that photo at the end. If you
let's get a good one
before, and then it works usually. We usually work.
It really does.
Yeah, it's funny.
I think as long as they know they're gonna have a bit of fun, they'll generally play the game, won't they? They'll generally do what you ask them to do.
Sure. So yeah, and we've been talking about this funny photo, and we haven't done it yet. Maybe in next year podcast, I can tell you how it goes. We're gonna try in a couple of.
Yeah, tell me how much money you made. Lots of money from it.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, hopefully it does. Well, the other thing is that when the kids see the photos, they will want that photo, and instead of the other.
They're excited to show their parents, aren't they? And that's if we can get all of that engagement. So where children are saying, "Mum, you've got to see my picture. Look at what I've done." Then again, that makes them want to buy it and want to spend the money on it.
most of the parents here in Chile, we are very like a family orientated culture, and so some of the parents they sit with the kids and they choose the photos all together as a family kind of thing, and so that's pretty
Love
cool.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. So, Marcelo, you're doing the South Africa conference, is that right?
I was invited this time. The other one I was invited only through a video.
Well, it worked. Done all right.
So yeah, I was invited to the conference in South Africa. We are really, really excited to go there with the team. We talk every day. It is going to be an amazing conference, not only because of what we're going to do after the conference or before. It is just what we're planning to deliver to whoever actually attend. If you are watching this and you are planning or you are still debating whether you're going to go or not, I highly recommend you to go. It is not only to listen to this crazy guy that is talking to you right now, but it is also about the experience, getting the knowledge of people that have been doing this for a long time, and also to connect. I just realized the connection with others, it is just fundamental in this business, And I feel that there was a lack of that before. Everybody was your competition, so I was not doing it. It was not the thing that we usually do. But these things, little tools that get you to be a better photographer, but not I'm talking about like who take the photo, but who actually
make the business better. Yeah.
Whoever can contribute to get you a little higher, it is good. So take the opportunity, keep watching this podcast, because we're gonna get a lot of like very interesting people that can give you a lot of good advices. And so I'm excited to go there to hang out with the team. We did it in Australia last year. This year it is there. We're planning the future to be in different places. Hopefully they're gonna get to South America. I don't know if they make it or not, but yeah, we're really excited. We're really excited to get there and contribute to grow business and make awareness of the new technology and the new ways of doing things. Think out of the box.
And I think that just from the British one that we done recently over in Birmingham, I mean, you get South Africa, I got Birmingham, you're winning. Okay, South Africa is far better than Birmingham will ever be. So, but yeah, with that conference just opened the door to these conversations. This is probably the 5th episode of the podcast. We've spoke to Norway, we've spoke to Spain, we've spoke to Chile, we've spoke to the UK. It is worldwide industry.
It is.
All of a sudden now we've got lots of people talking. The whole thing is becoming much closer, and we can actually say, hang on a minute, we've got relationships and we've got friendships and we've got people that understand the industry from all over the world. It's only going to make it better, I think.
Right. Well, what we knew from photography is Europe, some of the countries, right? And then Australia and then the US. And that's what we knew about photography. Photography in general, it is way bigger than that. And what they're doing in Malaysia, what they're doing in Brazil, and what they're doing in Argentina, what we're doing here in Chile can give you a little bit of an idea that the market can change and twist in different ways. It's just the way how it's better for you and the different cultures. And so yeah, I feel that these little tools where we get to communicate with others, it really is beneficial for everybody. Not only you guys there, or not only the people in the US, or not only the people here in Chile. It's just beneficial for everybody, especially with this technology that is in social media that at the end of the day is killing other markets, like television. Nobody watches television like
everything's on demand. Yeah, you're right. Everything right.
And so we just like by working together, we can see the future or what can like really dramatically change in our market. So it doesn't happen to us what happened to Blockbuster or any other company. Even the TVs that are like broke now because they don't know what to do. They didn't see what was coming.
Or they didn't change, or they didn't speak to people that had experienced it. Yeah. Marcelo, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much, my friend.
We could speak for hours, and I'm sure we'll do this again once we'll get together at some point. We'll have a bit, and we'll
anytime.
this
Yeah, you
again.
can come here when the weather is a little bit better than there. I
think I
just
will.
remember when I visited London once, I was visiting friends, and they said, "Dude, it's summer here." So because I said, "What do I bring for clothing?" Like it's summer, and I just got to Heathrow short and a t-shirt in September. It was September? No, it was like October, something like that. It is summer. It was summer is coming or something like that. So no problem. No, maybe I don't know. But I just got there and I was freezing. Like freezing.
Yeah, I mean,
my trip was from the airport to the mall to buy clothes because I was like, people will look at me weird. I didn't know why, and I'm like, oh, these people just
you're the wrong plane.
Are looking at me this way. And no, and it was just because I wasn't short in a t-shirt and a freezing cold weather. And then
I think you need
for 6 weeks, and I didn't have a day of sun. Not a day. Like after the second week, I'm like, I'm done, and I just flew to Greece. What you always do, probably.
need a holiday.
Yeah, I had to go on a holiday with my holiday because I was freezing. But it's funny story.
You need to pick the very specific 2 or 3 days in August to get good weather, I think.
Right. So yeah. Hopefully we get to meet soon, or maybe in the next conference. I don't know where that's going to be after.
Yeah,
summer.
We'll find one.
Yeah, for sure.
Marcelo, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Thanks for sharing everything you did.
Thank you, everybody,
for
watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Take care. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed my dad's chat with Marcelo all the way from Chile. Hopefully he will take me on holiday there. He's got to pay for my work somehow, hey? Please like and subscribe to the School Photo Podcast. Happy days.